Okay, I've opened up the assignment and I see this file that says anti-slavery protest literature. So what I'm going to do is for each of these three selections that we read for this unit, I want to think about one of the ways that the writer attempted to shape the reader's opinions against slavery. Now, each of these writers does it in several ways, so there's lots to choose from. In the center column, I'm going to give my reasons about, I'm going to support one approach that the writer took. And in the right-hand column, I want to give a really good quote example that supports my point. So I'll do this for Uncle Tom's Cabin, and no fair using the one that I used. You got to find your own. So first, I need to write my support in the middle. All right, and there's my support. I'll just read it quickly. One thing that I see Stowe doing to convince her readers that slavery is wrong is the way she contrasts the law with Christian values. She points out in several places in the text that what the law holds true that what the law holds is true is very different from the values of Christianity. While many of our readers might not be familiar with the exact letter of state and federal law, they were almost certainly familiar with the Bible. The character of Senator Byrd is the tool she uses to push this approach. While he begins by firmly upholding the value of the anti-fugitive slave laws, he relents the first time he comes face to face with a living example of the kind of person the law hurt. Even the book's narrator voices an opinion on the matter. So Stowe doesn't just rely on her characters to get the point across, she lets her narrator inject an opinion, as in the quote I chose, which comes from the narrator's voice. And now I'm going to put a quote in, and this is a quote from the story where the narrator talks about a person who doesn't know the legal law, but knows Christian law, and there's a little sarcastic comment in there. So let me quickly put that quote in. So here's my quote. So spoke this poor heathenish Kentuckian who had not been instructed in his constitutional relations, and consequently was betrayed into acting in a sort of Christianized manner, which, if he had been better situated and more enlightened, he would not have been left to do so. This is the guy who pulls Eliza from the river, and he does it because that's the human Christian thing to do, according to the character, according to the narrator. But the narrator says that if he had been a little bit more schooled in the law, he would not have been so Christian. This directly, when we're talking about how Stowe puts the government at odds with Christianity, that's meant to drive her point home to the reader that slavery is at odds with their religion, because her readership would have been almost entirely Christian. So, a clever approach from Stowe. This is one of the approaches that I saw, one of several approaches I saw her take in Uncle Tom's Cabin. You're going to do the same thing for that and the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass and Louisa May Alcott's story, My Contraband.